また会いた。何やった？
一杯のコーヒーが一日の活力を呼び覚ますのです。必要なのはコーヒーではなく心です。
見切ったやさやさはせいせいやへっとせい見切ったえっ刀は抜いたままでせいはっえっ時間の無駄です。この機を逃さんさあせはっへっやったやしれはった
Okay, I did my dailies. Just quickly wrap that shit up real quick. Now let's get on to the story again.
お弟子ちゃん、あそこが適当感の正門です。じゃじゃーん、ここが天下に名を轟かせる私たちの適当感です。パンさん、CA さん、見てくだあ、猫さん。師匠、
バタバタしてすまないな。ようこそ適当館へ。
びっくりしました。どこから入り込んじゃったんでしょう。
まずはこいつが落ち着ける場所を探す。夫婦リンをみんなに紹介してやれ。ついでに適当館の案内を頼む。
任せてください、お師匠。
私はこいつをどうにかしてくる。
分かったよ、師匠。というわけで、それでもってお弟子ちゃん。兄弟子の皆さん、はじめまして。私、リンって言うんだ。
おやおや、師匠が
いいぞ、息のいい新人だ。ささ、腹が減ってるだろ。何を隠そう。運楽食べたいものがパッと浮かばないなら。
やったー、パンさん。私は角煮と手羽先の唐揚げと、それと
姉弟子さん、パンはお弟子さんに作ってあげると言ったんですよ。
私は全然乾パンでも。
が
もう二人と。
何にせよ、今はこらえどころですね、姉です。とはいえ、あの人が保険金詐欺のために。
兄弟子、
さっきは外だから言いにくかったんだけど。襲われた。うん、師匠が墜落調べたんだけど、許せません。
そうですね、運楽お弟子さん、師匠から聞いたのですが、あなたが運楽さんに加わる以上、その結果を良しとしない何者かが。ただ今回の調査は市長が秘密裏に手配。当初の計画ではあなたたち兄弟2人で直前で師匠自ら護衛を買って出なかったらどうなっていた。
そうだったんだ。
そうだそうだ。お師さんの占いは。とはいえこの騒ぎで俺たち運楽さんが適当館に戻ったこと。
大丈夫ですよ、バン。
適当館に。運楽さんの総本山はここじゃないんです。昔からある拠点の一つってだけで、旧と陥落があってから。だから今回市長さんからラマニアンフォローの調査をこれでもできるだけ準備したんですが、そうだったんだ。でも平気だよ、私って割とちなみに私たち以外にも弟子がいるんですけど、今はみんな調査で出払っちゃ。
ね、時間も時間だし。
それもそうです。ありがとう、パンさん。でもお腹減ってないから。
Oh, the restoration. I see. So we're gonna do shit to restore this temple, I guess. Oh, I see. So this is going to be our room, I guess. Oh, I see. This is our HDD is. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Cool. Okay, so this is our room. Doesn't look as good. Oh, wow. We actually have a VR device in here. Oh, I see. It's the. Wait, I don't know. Vivian's exercise? Oh, that's weird. Maybe they added that later. Okay, yeah. So it's not that VR device. It's not the VR device from HIA. It's the VR device for that. Okay. So basically, it's combined our room and our base.
夫婦に他の弟子は紹介されたか
All the vital points of our of the video store.
夫婦先輩が兄弟子たちを紹介。
そうか。ならよかった。飛行こそこそできない以上、これからの調査は困難を極めるだろう。メイフラワーの手配した空路がバレていたとくれば、向こうもやり手であることは想像に難くないからな。
Isn't that weird, right? The mere special airship, like it's taking an airship, like you're in the fucking sky, like you can see it, right? Now, obviously, to plan an ambush like this, you need to know the route, obviously. But like the secret route, like there are so many routes, like you know, like it's flying a blimp. There's like infinitely many routes. So it's not really like it's a special route. Like, what, you only take this route, like, ever? Like, there's tons of other routes that you could have taken instead. Now, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, maybe there's a faster way. Maybe the way we went was like this really far out of the way. Like, we circled around and then came in from this side. So maybe that there would be a faster way. Like, if we traveled from the video store, we would have come in on the west side. But we decided to circle around and come in on the east side. But we got ambushed. Maybe that was special. It's hard to tell, but like, it's also like we are still a humongous fucking blimp in the sky. Like anyone with binoculars could see it. I mean, you don't even need binoculars, but like it's the kind of thing where it's like you can see it just visibly with your eyes. You know, for a blimp, it's huge. But like if you were like just on top of a skyscraper with binoculars, you could easily scan for and find our blimp. So it's like I find it like weird that you're gonna pretend we're like covert and stuff, where it's like we can see it. Now obviously the idea is that sure, a blimp's a blimp. Like a blimp is incredibly visible, but no, you wouldn't know that, oh, that's the blimp that houses these two people. So the fact that they knew that this blimp was where we were is something, and potentially knowing our route, it depends. Like if we took the fastest route to this location, then maybe you'd say, oh, they would have enough time to gather their forces, wait at a good ambush point, and do that. But if you knew that they're going to fly over the hollow, yeah, you could easily prepare stuff ahead of time and be ready for that. So yeah, could be.
師匠ったら頼もしい。
ああ、お前さんがここになれる方が先だ。何かあったら私か夫婦だ。
そうだ、ちょうど聞きたかったんだけど、師匠、ここってなんで適当感っていうの？
Now, considering this is Chinese, this is obviously not going to be the exact same, but my bet is that the sui from Suibian is the water kanji. Because sui is water, or is how you pronounce water. Yeah, it's a kanji by itself. Obviously, it can change its pronunciation depending on how it's used in words. But considering we're along the coast, it would not be surprising if the first kanji of this temple is the kanji for water.
適当感という名前は猿
あ
雲岳さんの先人がつけた。
Hard to say. Like, obviously, there's homonyms. Also, it's Sui in Japanese. Now, some of the oldest kanji have the same pronunciation in Chinese as in Japanese. There are some, like, obviously, as things progress, combinations give it different pronunciations, which maybe exist uniquely in Japanese and Chinese. And sometimes Chinese have their own way of pronouncing the exact same stuff. I mean, the kanji itself did come from China originally, and then was continuously used and evolved afterwards. I mean, it could still be that, right? It could be that. It could be water. It could still be using the water kanji, but whatever the bien is, it could be the combination of those kanji together form that word. Also, they say local dialect, which obviously can mean that, yeah, normally this would mean, or be pronounced this way, but because of the local dialect, it changes it drastically. Like, it's not surprising that China would have its own version of it's not surprising that China would have a variety of local dialects, considering how big the country is. Hell, even Japan, which is much, much smaller, has dialects, right? Like Kanto there's a difference between, like, there are distinctive dialects even in Japan, and Japan is just a much smaller place, its own little island, so everyone's much, much closer. So it's not surprising that there would be dialects like that in China, which is shitloads bigger. Hell, even in America, too, you know? There is the New York accent, there is the Southern accent. I mean, you could say there's, like, the West Coast, that's the surfer, Valley Girl accent. I don't know if that's an actual accent or if that's just, like, I don't know, is that a meme? I'm not quite sure if it... I don't interact with a lot of people talk like that, so I don't know if it actually exists or if it's just, like, a small select group of people trying to force and create an accent like this. Either way, but yeah. So, I have to double check. Maybe we'll have to look to see if there's if they show the kanji for the actual characters, and I can then check to see if it's using water.
調査が順調にいけばしばらくはここに泊まりだ。
わかった。
覚えが早くて、そうだ。まだ用事があった。名目上とはいえ、お前さんはもう雲岳山の準備ができたらついてこ。
Oh, I see. So he's essentially going to replace... I thought it was going to be its own little, like, restoration thing, but it seems like with the fortune, it seems like it's going to be like the dog, right? You know, like the scratch-off tickets, although actually it doesn't seem that way. Oh. Okay. The top kanji is big. I don't know if that's big luck or big misfortune. I mean, most of these are positive, so I guess big luck. Oh, I see. So, like, we just got to collect them all, I guess. Just keep doing divinations. Okay. So I guess it's just keep doing divinations until you get all of them. Oh, okay, so yeah, that was big luck. Okay, so the second kanji is the kanji for luck. As you can see, this is small luck, this is just luck. So big luck, luck, small luck. I don't know. I've never seen that kanji. And so that must be misfortune. Or actually, wait, no, wait, what? And this is super luck. Because obviously there are going to be some differences. Those are the same two kanji that are used in like Japanese fortune pulling within like temples and stuff. But they might use it different. First of all, they might not have like supreme fortune, right? They might not even have that. I think usually they just have greater fortune, fortune, lesser fortune, and like small bad fortune and small or big bad fortune. So they have bad luck, essentially. But it seems like this, they're just like, nah, we're just gonna go. I think that's the kanji for half in Japanese. I'm not sure what. I guess it means neutral in Chinese. Either way, so yeah, I guess it's collect all of these and get rewards. Okay. So I guess come here in addition to going to the dog for my normal other fortune, my scratch off. So do the dog, do my scratch off, and then come here for a fortune. Okay, so I can't talk to them yet. Oh, I see. So I don't need to go to the movie store anymore. This is basically just 20 as in our own Bangbu. I thought it was a mayor's. Okay, so this is basically, this can be our home base now. This can be where we do everything. So we come here to do our movie shit. So we don't have to go back to 6th Street just to do our movie stuff. We can essentially do literally everything that we do within our shop here. Although just worse, because this is where we do the video store, but then I have to run into the temple and all the way over to my room to go into the HDD, whereas if I go to 6th Street and go into our video store, our counter is like 20 feet away, or like 10 to 15 feet away from the HDD, and like everything's all like grouped together on that first floor. Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna use the tea. I thought it was the place nearby that. I thought we were gonna like this is right next to a tea shop, so I thought that they were gonna replace coffee with tea. I thought we were gonna go to the shop right next to it, and we're just gonna get tea to get our stuff back. So I thought it was actually gonna be different. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, okay, it's coffee in the original area, and you're gonna use tea to restore stamina in this area. But no, they're just gonna be like, no, we have a random shop with coffee. We have a franchise store for coffee to do the same thing.
準備は全部終わった。
お弟子ちゃん、部屋の準備ができたぞ。何か他に必要？
うん、一通り揃えてくれてるね。お兄ちゃんにこっちの状況を伝えとこ
う。もしもし。
聞こえてるよ。呼び方が違う。私、妹。
リン、師匠から連絡があって、飛行船ごとフォローに落ちていたと聞いた。それ。
もう、絶対飛行船なんて乗らないんだから。前もジャトヤがひどい目に遭ってたし、フォローに落ちてからも、得体の知れない人たちにつけられてたし、英地区に向かうだけでこんなことになっちゃう。お兄ちゃん、やっぱり家で待ってなよ。
来ない方がいいなんて。そんなこと。 HDD システムのリモート機能は調整済みだけれど、リモート接続だと複雑な演算をリアルタイムで処理できない。こういうデータは直接そっちで更新。それにイーシェンさんなら僕たちのエーテレを操るという潜在能力を引き出してくれる。
Oh, this is actually I was complaining that like there seemed to be no real reason for us to have him join us. Like I'm gonna be like, no, we don't really need both of us. Like you can chill at the video store to provide a front, you know, an alibi that yeah, I'm there too, so that my existence here would be secret. So it'd be better for you just to stay, and then you know when you need training, you can come later. So that's what I was thinking. But it seems like that's actually a pretty good reason for him to actually show up. It's like no, there actually is a reason. He doesn't need to be there doing actual Hollow investigation because like that's the whole thing is that we've been doing all the Hollow investigation the entire time, and so that's why I was like, well, we don't really need him there because we're the one doing everything because we've chosen her as the main character. So I was like, well, why do we even need him there? But this is actually a valid reason of why he should show up. Now, you know, he shouldn't have been showing up to begin with. It's weird that like the assumption that he was going to be there. It would have been fine if he said like, oh, I'll just chill at the video store and then all this shit happened. He's like, no, like I've been noticing a lot of weird stuff. I'm gonna have to be there just so I can, you know, handle shit and, you know, make sure that the connection stays live. We're going to need someone live and there. And sure. So it's weird that he was assuming that he would be coming in the first place, so we don't really need him. But now they've actually provided a valid reason for him to actually show up.
そっか。まあ、どの道私たち。
ああ、そういえば妹ですさ。
もちろん師匠ったらすごいんだよ。雲岳さんの雲に乗って。
全く想像力が豊かだな。
本当だってば、師匠が言ってたよ。修行すればイエスだ。
なんだって雲岳さんの術法がそれほど。
謝らないで。ちょっとこっち。
やれやれ、そんなことだろうと思った。妹弟子さん。
あれ？
わかった。
あなた方が雲岳さん、私はダミアン・ブラックウッドトップス。いやはや雲岳さんがエヒ地区を離れてから随分経ちますが、その後時にメイフラワー市長と提携していらっしゃるというのは。
ああ、メイフラワーからの依頼で正式な委任状は後ほど弟子に送らせよう。
なるほどなるほど。生産エリアには我がポーセルメックスの所有する工事の採掘、何せ工事の安定した生産。
安定？でもさっき街に出たと、ひょっとして無茶で危ない
そうだ、弟子の言う通り事故があったのならホローへの影響も。
労災ですか。ええ、確かにありました。安全への懸念がある以上、やはりそして最後に言うまでもないかもしれん、雲岳さんであれ誰であれ深入り、こちらは私の連絡先となります。
なんです
夫婦。
お弟子ちゃんと適当感に戻ると。
ああ、俺も聞いた。この辺の労働者たちの間じゃその話はっきりとしたこと。
ラマニアンの観測データに異常があるってことだったし。
軽眼ですね、お弟子さん。何事もこれで僕たちとしてはますます工事のダミアン氏の口ぶりからして簡単には入れてもらえそうもありませんね。
リン、お前さんの技術で生産エリアの位置は特定できそうか？
それがね、さっき話してたんだけど、ラマニアンだから師匠、お兄ちゃんに。
心配には及びません。今しがた手続き上もう僕たちは正式な協力関係にあります。それにどのみち僕たちの行動は筒抜けですから。
高速も事故らないってわけじゃないけど。
よし、リンと夫婦、シーエン、お前さんは車でこいつの兄を拾ってこい。もう安心しろ。今回も
Oh.
あんたよ、さっき
きっとポーセルメだから言ったでしょ。彼
ちょっと黙っとけパロ。もう一回聞くぞ。喧嘩売りに来たってんなら買ってやるよ。
自分から。
あんたらのやり口だろうが、こっちが手出したとっくにお見通しなんだよ。ほらやれよ。けど分かってんだろうな。
落ち着いて。フォーセルメックスの人間じゃないよ。
どっから来た。
中で事故が起きたって聞いて、でも当のポーセルメックスが何にも教えてくれないから。
そっちもポーセルメックスに手を。自分はコマのマナトスだから。何が起こったのかはっきり。あんたもこの件を調査してくれてんなら。
びっくりした。ついにポーセルメックスが資格。
侵食事故？
それはもちろん。何せ僕は病気になった人た。
工事を生産してた人たちに侵食が？でも。
はい。長時間のフォロー内活動にあたっては防護服の着用。ただ僕たちフォローで働くことを厭わない人間はそのほとんどが旧と関連。僕たちがこうして身を粉にして働いているのもポーセルメックスから緩和剤の支給があるか。薬を飲んだ同僚がすぐにバタバタ倒れて、中にはそのまま侵食の発作が起きたやつまで。なのにポーセルメックスは何て言ったと思います？彼らはすぐに箝口令を敷いて、いつもお世話になってるロア先生から薬に問題があると聞いたのはその後でした。ひどい粗悪品らしくて、あの悪徳企業。
そんなひどいこと。
ああ。それにダミアンは事故の起きたエリアを封鎖したし、あそこは遺棄されたの一点張りで。
とことんまずい感じだね。本当は私ね、市長さんに派遣された調査員なの。協力してくれたらきっと。
それ
市長の。こりゃチャンスだぞパロ。
そうです。わかりました。僕では侵食エリアの中までお連れできませんが。
本当ありがと
よし、自分に。
う。それなら。
僕は見かけたことないです。
すんません、自分も。
そっか。
どうだ弟子たち。
すいません。
私もです。フォローにあるロープ、フォローに入る。
大丈夫。それにその人労災の現場にもいたみたい。トップスが支給してた侵食緩和剤が原因。
なるほど。だからみんな。
リン、その
もちろん嘘をついてるようには見えなかったか。そういえばこんなこともあったよ。その人。
ああ、キュートが陥落したあの時、雲岳山は山を降りて最もそれを境に。そうか、あれから随分経つが、まだ覚えてくれている者もいるのか。
そうだったんだ。でもこっちに来なくなっちゃったのはなんで？同感の周り。
That still doesn't make sense. Why? Oh, I see. Help evacuate situation. There we go. I didn't see that part. I see.
取り乱すなアホ。昔のことさ。今は調査にし。うん。うん。うん。ああ。
I wonder if we're ever going to become an actual, like, combat. Like, I wonder if we're ever going to use ourselves in combat. Like, so far we're always just being... Like, we were always just the Bangbu, acting as a guide for everybody else. And then for some reason, they were like, hey, now that you have ether capacity, why don't you go inside the hollow? You know, why don't you, a non-combatant, go inside an incredibly dangerous location and risk your life, even though you have a perfectly safe alternative by using the Bangbu? And I'm like, why the fuck would we do this? Like, we are non-combatants. We don't know how to defend ourselves. At least if the Bangbu dies, nothing really happens to us. We're fine. You know? Like, why would we not want to be the Bangbu in a hollow? Like, why are we going in by ourselves? Because, like, it also just makes it more difficult to defend us as well. Like, we are human. We are like, if we get injured at all, we're harder to carry. Like, if the Bangbu gets injured, like, if someone rips off a Bangbu leg and it can no longer walk, picking up a Bangbu and running is much easier than picking up our body after our leg has been ripped off, right? So it's like, there's just no advantages whatsoever to going in person. Like, there's no benefits to it. It's just going in as a Bangbu is 100 times better because it is safer and we provide no actual use unique to us being there in person, right? Like, that's the thing, is that there's nothing we can personally do. We were always just a guide, and even if we're in there in person, we're still just a guide. Us being in there in person doesn't provide any extra utility. We aren't more useful because we're there in person. Like, I guess there are some things, obviously, like, sure, being a taller human with fingers and stuff, we can manipulate machinery and whatnot, which a Bangbu might not be able to do. But, like, if Bangbus are robots, wouldn't they be like R2-D2, where they can, like, just connect directly to machines? So it doesn't really matter that we don't have fingers, we can just directly connect. So it's like, we don't really need to manipulate things, and even if we do, we can have someone else do it for us. So it's like, so weird that we want to go in before learning how to defend ourselves. Now it seems like we are learning how to defend ourselves, so it's like, cool. You know, cool. You know, like, but then, you know, if we do actually learn combat and stuff, will we actually be playable characters? You know, like right now we use 3 other characters exist in this world, but we're not really ever being ourselves. And it made sense because as a Bangbu we couldn't fight, and now we can. Now that we're going in there ourselves, we could, in theory, fight, but we just have no practice or experience. And even still, it's just like, we really want to be the ones in combat when everyone else has been has been training and doing this for years. You know, it still makes no sense. But at the very least, we could now be our own combat force. So I am curious if they are going to introduce us Like, at some point during season 2, are we ever going to be a playable character? You know, that'd be interesting. And what would we be? Would it be an S rank? I assume we're going to be an S rank, but we're going to be an S rank so shit we're practically an A rank. That would be my guess. Because that's how Genshin does it for pretty much everybody. Well, actually, no, not really. Not for everybody. Honkai Star Rail, they are better at it. But, like, Genshin, all travelers are trash. Like, they're just trash. They're just, like, absolutely useless. They're so fucking shit. The only one that actually has some utility is Sumeru, but, like, every character is just so bad. And, like, Natlan's okay, I guess. Like, Fire Traveler's not too terrible, but, like, you just would never, ever want to use them ever for any reason. It's just like, wow, they're bad. So, you know, Honkai Star Rail, the Destruction Trailblazer was pretty shit too. And then the Preservation one was okay. Like, it was fine at the time, but, like, it's been overshadowed by quite literally every other Preservation character that's released since then. So it's like, well, they're just kind of useless as Preservation. So essentially, Trailblazer was kind of useless for a while until we got to Penacony, and then Harmony Trailblazer actually had a point and was actually useful. And Remembrance Trailblazer is also useful. So it's like, okay, now they made the Trailblazer actually useful in Honkai Star Rail, but she started pretty trash too. So I am curious if they're going to make us useful, which is kind of difficult, because, like, the reason why the Trailblazer is useful is because of the utility we provide as a character. It's more about utility and what we can do for the team. And the problem for the Traveler in Genshin is they always try to make them, like, kind of a main DPS type, where they're like, yeah, you're the main person, like, you're going to be doing DPS for the most part. Like, it's kind of this weird thing where, like, we're semi-support, semi-DPS, but we do both jobs terribly. It's just like, we have no real purpose, because everything we do is kind of shit, you know? So it's, I mean, Genshin is older, though, so I mean, maybe they just kind of, like, realize, well, we don't really need to make the Traveler good. We can just, you know, make them whatever, because we have so many other characters that exist that you don't ever really need to play them ever. So it's like, it feels like they've kind of given up. Although the Natlan, I don't know, there was some utility with Natlan, because they gave them unique buffs for the weekly boss, and then you can unlock the constellations, and now you can have a little more utility again. So they're not terrible, but they're not good. Like, there are other 4-stars that are better than them. Like, would be more use. There are other 4-stars that are more used than them, because they're just better. They provide more utility, they do what they do better. And, like, Traveler always kind of half-asses it. And then with Honkai Star Rail, because it's turn-based, they can kind of like manipulate and create mechanics that the Trailblazer can work with. But the problem with this game is that this game is more action combat than turn-based, so it does kind of limit the utility we can provide. Now, it could be like, they've already made, like, the panda person, they gave the panda the ability to increase sheer force. Like, that would be something that we could have done. We could have been a support like the panda that boosts sheer force damage, so we could work well with her. But because the panda exists and the panda heals, like, we wouldn't be useful that way. And if they try to make us DPS, because we'd be a free character, because we're the main character, they probably wouldn't make us our DPS any really good, right? Our DPS wouldn't be as good as a normal S rank. So it's like, that's the thing, is that the only time that the main characters ever really do well is when they just focus on support. You know, Harmony Trailblazer and Remembrance Trailblazer both support Trailblazers. Both provide support and utility for, you know, break effect for the Harmony, and just generally a good support. It's a generally good support for the Remembrance, because you can just boost the damage of your main DPS character and advance their turn forward. Just good, useful, and SP positive, so just very, very good. Whereas, like, if they make Bell or Wise, depending on who you pick, if they make them a pure support, the problem is I just don't know how they would support. right? Because we already have a sheer force booster and healer in the Panda. So it's like, how would they make the main character support? It feels like they're probably going to try. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there'll be a new reaction, or there'll be some new thing that we can help support and make that good. Either way, if they don't make them, if they try to make her a support or a DPS type, she's going to be bad, because they're going to intentionally hobble her to make sure she's not as good as any of the other 5 stars or the S ranks. Because I assume it'll be like Genshin and Honkai Star Rail, whereas when we get them, we're going to unlock her mindscapes as part of the story, which would make her stronger. And so they basically, even though they call the main character an S rank or a 5-star, they aren't. They're basically, because they know they're gonna give you all the constellations for them. They basically say, hey, we're gonna call you a 5-star, but really you're not. You're a 4-star with max constellations, which will make you equivalent in power to an S rank with no constellations, at best. And oftentimes, especially for early Genshin characters, not even that. They're just so trash anyway, even with max constellations. But like, that's kind of how it rolls out. They call you the max rank character, but realistically, you're only really max rank because you have those constellations. And so because you can never increase in power beyond that, any S rank you get has far more potential, because you can always get more constellations and make them stronger. Okay. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call it with that. I progressed a little bit more. At some point, I'm going to have to go through. I'll have to double check when the Fork Tower runs are going to be over the weekend. If I'm not able to get into a Fork Tower, then I might work on these Endless Zone Zero events, because there are a lot of events I need to do. Okay, cool. So, but yeah, generally I've liked the story. It's been fun and interesting. Oh, actually, yeah, I forgot. Okay, so this is probably an actual combat thing. Night deployment, obviously. These two are going to be big baddies. Okay, so we still have I guess I've only progressed about a third of the way through, maybe. We still have a ways to go. But the story can be done whenever. I really need to focus more on doing the events, because the events are time limited. So I just want to make sure. And they just introduced a new event that, like this one has. Wait, not that one. This one's like 30 days, and this one's at 23 days. But this one just introduced and only has 16. So I have to work on that one sooner rather than later. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it with that. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.